This is Donald Trump's worst nightmare, the FIFA World Cup, which is set to take place in just a few weeks in the United States, also in Canada and Mexico. It's turning out to be a massive disaster. Donald Trump and Gianni Infantino, who's the president of FIFA, they've basically destroyed the FIFA World Cup. Donald Trump has perverted it and made it so odd, and Donald Trump's catastrophic war in Iran and his wars around the world have caused a massive boycott of FIFA tourism.
It's next conquest. We're doing this again? He talks about war like he's bragging about women with Billy Bush. This is not something and in case you're wondering, America is back. That's right. Just like the McRib, and available for a limited time. So what he's saying is we've won the war, we achieved all our objectives, but we're still gonna send a team to negotiate those objectives, and the strait is open, but also closed. It's like having a magic 8-ball as president of the United States. Will we annihilate a civilization?
Keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7.
One joke, bigger than one monologue, bigger than one late-night feud. Because what you are watching right now is not just Donald Trump getting roasted on television. You are watching a president who has lost control of a narrative. And the more that control slips away, the more aggressive he becomes, the more vindictive he sounds, and the more obvious it is what truly rattles him. It is not policy debates. It is not press conferences. It is not even courtrooms. What rattles him is ridicule. What rattles him is mockery. What rattles him is when the performance collapses. When millions of people sit at home and watch Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert strip his bluster into punchlines, splice his contradictions into montages, and turn the strongman image into something brittle and exposed. A man who requires constant adoration and cannot tolerate laughter at his expense. That is the real story. And
summer with no World Cup. So if there was no World Cup, the typical tourism and the typical hotel bookings in these cities, I'm giving you major metropolitan areas, Philly, Boston, San Francisco, Seattle, New York, would be more than it is right now with FIFA. Like, do we all realize what a stunning stat that is? But Gianni Infantino says there may be a last-minute influx, like a miracle right around the corner. Just you wait and see. There may be a miracle coming, right? Aren't these all just MAGA con artists right here?
Ask again later. And also, it's not a war, it's an operation. It's not just an operation, it's Operation Epic Fury, which they should change that. Now, you should drop the RY and just make it Operation FU, because that's what it is. Formal peace talks are expected to begin on Saturday in Pakistan. The United States will be represented in these talks by J.D. Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner. Trump sent Jared so he could have some alone time with Ivanka over the weekend. But now, the reason Trump sends his son-in-law, who has no official position in our government,
huge licensing fees in international jurisdictions. So they're basically saying, look,
those monologues escalated when Trump demanded that taxpayers fund a White House ballroom, and then went further, publicly calling for Kimmel to be fired. Colbert, meanwhile, has been relentless, hammering Trump's war messaging, threats toward the press, ballroom claims, and the economic and political cost of governing by impulse. And here is where this stops being metaphor and becomes verifiable behavior. On April 27th, Trump posted on Truth Social calling for Kimmel to be immediately fired by Disney and ABC after a joke involving Melania Trump. CBS, citing the Associated Press, reported that Trump labeled the joke a call to violence, even though the same reporting noted there was no indication Kimmel was referring to violence at all. Kimmel responded on air, explaining the joke was about age difference, not assassination, and added that if the White House wanted to lower hateful rhetoric, it might start by talking to Trump himself. This was not rumor. It was a
for example, if India wants coverage of the World Cup, come up with some joint venture and pay FIFA $100 million. And India was like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. How about $20 million? So there was this JV between an Indian company and Disney. India's Reliance Disney joint venture goes, we'll make a $20 million offer. We don't think the World Cup is worth $100 million. And now we're weeks away, and normally you would have a licensing deal, I don't know, months ago, but FIFA hasn't made a licensing deal with India. Not only that, it hasn't made a licensing deal with China yet. And China's flexing its muscle and saying, we're not going to pay you what you want, FIFA. India's flexing its muscle and saying, we're not going to pay you what you're demanding. And these are massive markets, right? There has been no deal announcement for China, which FIFA says accounts for 49.8% of all hours of viewing on digital and social platforms globally during the 2022 World Cup. Let that sink in right here.
Dr. King himself.
And it did not end there. The very next day, the Federal Communications Commission ordered Disney to file early renewal applications for its ABC broadcast licenses years ahead of schedule. CBS reported that the order came one day after Trump demanded Kimmel be fired. The FCC said the move stemmed from an existing investigation into Disney's DI practices, but the timing immediately raised alarms. Broadcast license pressure appearing right after a president targets a comedian is, at minimum, politically disturbing. Disney pointed to ABC's long record of compliance. The National Association of Broadcasters warned that the move created uncertainty across the industry. Legal experts noted that the FCC has no authority to revoke licenses based on political viewpoints. Whether retaliation or coincidence, the sequence is real. And that sequence is exactly why this story matters. This is not about...
And so you have that taking place. FIFA also so expensive. You know, like people like in the other host cities, there's not that many games in Mexico and Canada. But take a look at this. Mexico's out-of-reach World Cup tickets cause discontent among fans. Of the 104 matches in this year's World Cup, 4 will be played in Monterrey, 4 in Guadalajara, and 5 in the newly renovated Banorte Stadium in Mexico City, including the opening match between Mexico and South Africa. When FIFA released a second round of tickets in April, prices for the first game in Mexico on June 11th ranged from $3,000 to $10,000. The sky-high ticket costs are unaffordable for most Mexicans, who basically earn an average monthly income of about $1,000. And when people are saying this, it doesn't feel the same as the previous 2 World Cups. This World Cup basically belongs to the United States. It doesn't feel Mexican. That's how it feels to me, because even ticket prices are out of reach for everyone.
Official position in our government is because he was the guy in charge of brokering peace between Israel and Palestine a few years back, and that turned out great. Trump is funny because he keeps claiming we won this easily. We won it, but he's furious with our allies in NATO for not jumping in to help open the strait. He had a 2-hour chat with the head of NATO yesterday that did not go well, according to the people who were in the meeting. They said it was nothing but a tirade of insults. And the Prime Minister of Spain, Pedro Sanchez, this guy's had enough. After the ceasefire agreement, he said the government of Spain will not applaud those who set the world on fire.
The Colbert side is different, but just as revealing. Colbert has been relentless in recent monologues, with official late show titles focusing on the true cost of Trump's war posture, Iran mocking American demands, presidential fitness, threats against the press, and revenge politics.
So where this is supposed to be a celebration of, was supposed to be a celebration of Canada, the United States, Mexico, right? The people who are part of the USMCA or the Canada-Mexico-US agreement. Donald Trump wants to make this about him, and the ticket prices are just completely out of control right now as well. And, we're seeing this as well. FIFA ramps up efforts to sell luxury World Cup hospitality tickets after what they're calling a revenue reevaluation. And so FIFA is upping efforts to sell luxury hospitality tickets for the World Cup, with packages still available for 102 of the 104 matches at the expanded tournament. Mexico's Group A against South Korea and one last 32 fixture expected to feature Spain are the only matches showing a lack of availability on FIFA's hospitality platform. A new category of suite essentials has been added to lower profile games, allowing customers to buy an individual ticket for a suite that would previously have been sold to a group. The Guardian understands the intensified activity follows a downward reevaluation by FIFA and its partner on location of the revenue expected from most lucrative